but they're just men naturally who beat women.
Well,
Not naturally. They beat women.
there's nothing natural there.
Okay.
It's not natural. It's a habit.
Hello, viewers. I am Esther. So, welcome to the Loud Whispers. And today we are going to focus on abusive relationship. You know that we have a lot of online in-laws, and social media has contributed greatly to these things. But I am not going to discuss this today just alone. I have with me a very reputable man of God. So we're going to take this right now from the religious angle. So welcome, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. My name is Pastor Godsworth Ogenekaro. Thank you for having me in this program today.
We are happy, sir. We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. So this is an abusive relationship. What's your take on it?
Well, I would love to start by saying that abusive relationships is totally bad, and it could have a long-lasting effect on its victims.
Okay.
In the sense that when people are involved in such kind of relationships, it goes a long way to have a negative impact on them as the immediate individual, and also on children when it has to do with marriages.
Yes.
So it's something that is highly condemnable in our society today. So we must do everything possible to condemn it. And then looking at it from the spiritual angle, from our faith as believers, it's not accepted by God's principle. When an individual is in such relationship, of course, there are many causes. There are many reasons why such situations happens in relationships.
Okay, so looking at it from the church angle right now. So we have a lot of Christians or even pastors who knows the Bible or even carries the Bible on their head. But you find out that some of these persons, they beat their wife inside the house, and the women, they wouldn't want to just come out to the church or talk to their pastors about it. And even if they do, they'll keep telling you it's marriage till death or whatever, you understand. So what will you say concerning that? Like, these women or the pastors are no more about these things, they are even the one practicing it.
Okay, I have a strong foundation that fights against abuses, whether it's in marriage or relationships. But when we are looking at it from this angle, when it comes to marriage matters, I feel that a lot of people live their lives, even as believers, under assumptions. You see, the Bible never said, or the Bible never instructed us not to speak out. That is one. And secondly, life in general, there are certain issues that must be addressed. Certain issues must be addressed. And there are certain things also from our faith that we must understand as believers, to know that there is a role God should play in your home, and there is a role you should play. It's applicable to life in general. So now, looking at it from this perspective, when you see pastors, ministers of the gospel being abusive to their spouse, it's not something that we should overlook, because first and foremost, it is against the will of God.
Yeah.
Then
so
secondly,
this pastor, is it that they don't know the will of God?
Well, now when we talk about the will of God, we don't remove our personal actions. When I mean personal actions, for example, we all have foundations. And, the thing about Christianity is a gradual process in transformation. I hope a lot of people can understand this.
At least before being called a pastor,
yes,
there are some things you should just, you should already know.
Yeah.
I know that they'll tell you, pastors, they are human beings, you understand. But you being a pastor, there's some level of, you should be more than those persons outside. But these things that you say that pastors they're even the one practicing these things.
Yes.
Are they pastors or are they believers and they don't fear God? Which of them?
One thing people don't understand is this: it is not all about titles. It's not about titles. some persons have called themselves. So when we're looking at it from this perspective, you see a pastor beating the wife. That's why I started by saying we have different foundations, and Christianity is a gradual process of transformation.
Okay.
Somebody coming from the other side of life automatically had been translated from that side of life into kingdom lifestyle and dissect the Bible. He felt the Spirit of God in him, and automatically the system we are in today can quickly accredit him as a pastor.
True.
And then, and you know, the implication of that is that you have people you are leading. But that have not removed. Don't forget that it's a gradual process of transformation. And what the implication of that is this, that if you used to womanize, for example, while you were an unbeliever, now that you are a believer, you have to stop it. But it won't just disappear once and for immediately, I mean to say. It won't disappear immediately. I like to say this before we proceed with our discussions. When a man gives his life to Christ, or when a man surrenders to Christ, allowing Christ to come into him, physically it looks like nothing have changed. True of us?
Maybe.
Not maybe. It's a fact. If I pray for you now and you surrender your all to Christ, you are still putting on these clothes.
Yeah.
There are still some things you know. So, but the important thing here as a believer now is that you are now regenerated. You need to start learning the kingdom lifestyle, putting the past behind.
But these pastors, they preach about relationships.
Good. They preach about yes, they preach about relationships. They give you advice, but they are not practicing it.
Okay, so I'll tell you something. My friend told me, so I wouldn't want to mention the church here.
Yeah.
The pastor, I think is married, and they found out that the pastor sleeps with some of his members. So there was a particular girl. He bought an iPhone for the girl, and every other thing. But school fees, paying of school fees, he hasn't done that. Like the wife was like, there's no food at home. The children's school fees has not been paid. Even when the woman confronted the man, I look how you are doing. You are sleeping with a member, and the man was like, you know that the man he hits his wife.
Good.
As in, he beat the hell out of her.
Yeah.
But this man is a pastor. He comes to the pulpit and preach every other thing. Do this, do that, and we call him a man of God.
A man of God.
This thing, I don't know, like, why is it still like that? Like, you being a pastor.
Yeah. So you need to understand this. I initially said the process of transformation. Now, when a man wants to be transformed, automatically that man must stick to certain rules and regulations.
Okay, if you're not transformed, then why did you pastor?
It is you that called him pastor, not heavens.
Okay.
You must understand that. So that is why I said that some persons are the ones that called God.
Okay.
So
he called himself.
Yes. So let me quickly say this, that me, in my opinion, I don't, because someone had been ordained as a pastor, begin to start believing in everything he's doing. Bible said, by their fruits you shall know them. There are a lot of wolves in sheep clothing in our society today, and that's a major reason why you see this violence even in the homes of supposed believers. Can I give you an example? Now, trying to diversify a little now, when you see this issue of violence in marriages, abusive marriages, relationships where individuals will be going through hell and they keep mute. Do you know one thing that happens? If it's the woman that is going through that hell, she will be praying fervently for God to come and save her. If it's the man, he will be praying fervently for God to come out. But I can tell you boldly that God will not come down from heaven.
Okay, so looking at it from the Gen Z aspect, some girls will tell you they like their man to beat them, because after which the man will start coming to them, buying gifts and every other thing to apologize. They will still stay in it.
They are saying it out of ignorance.
Okay.
Because the impact of, or the effect of what they are going through is going to tell on them later in the future. A wife beater before marriage will be a wife beater in
Okay.
marriage.
Okay.
So I always advise people to correct every error before going into marriage.
Okay.
Whatever you know about your man or your woman before going into marriage, if it is positively helping you, stick to it. But if it's negative, find a way to deal with it.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. You've made a very valid point, and we appreciate this. And I believe that those outside the viewers, when this video reaches you, you should adhere to what pastors have said. Before we continue, we will go on just a short break. See you then. Welcome back. Still on loud whispers, but they're just men naturally who beat women.
Well,
Not naturally.
there's nothing natural there.
Okay.
It's not natural. It's a habit.
Okay.
It's a terrible habit that one have developed based on how they grew up, the things they do while they were younger, the values they instill into themselves. So it's not a natural. If you say it's natural, it means all men do beat women. So it's not a natural nature.
So what about you?
Me, I don't.
Have you?
I have now. I have hot-tempered. I can beat you with my mouth.
Also, we have this. Some persons they would like call it emotional beating.
That's what I'm saying now.
So you don't necessarily need to use your hand.
Wait now. That is exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
I have my mouth to talk, but for me to raise my hand, I don't get to that extent.
Do you even know that emotional beating is even worse?
Let me tell you why it's not worse. Let me tell you why it's not worse. Because first and foremost, something must lead to something. Now, a woman or a lady can be so stubborn to the extent that they don't take instruction.
Sharp tongue.
They talk. All they want is do this and do this and do this. What is your part of the contribution? And then as a man, you will get to a point where you have to speak out. Either by a way of correction, it now turns emotional abuse to the woman. So that's the angle I'm coming from.
But that's worse.
Why do you think it's worse?
Wait, okay. So do you know that some persons prefer just beat me, do anything you want to do with me, instead of you using your tongue on me?
That's what the person preferred, just like you said. The person preferred it.
Pastor, sir, let me not say some things. Let me not say some things. Let me cool. So how do you think these things can be?
Okay. First and foremost, we must go back to our foundation. Foundations as individuals. I talk about foundation now. I remembered while growing up, I had 4 sisters and they were far ahead of us. The truth is that even while growing up in my GSS 1, my elder sister could still take me to the bathroom and beat me. I want you to understand the foundation we are talking about. And I can't forget, there was a particular day,
so you said SS1?
GSS1, I mean to say. It can't happen now.
Okay, it's not possible.
It is not possible now. So the foundation where we came from matters a lot. The values that have been instilled in us matters a lot. You see, but today, because of the economic pressure, the crave for more, without craving to do something practically productive, we have seen a lot of young people go into this kind of, they manage this kind of situation. They manage it for years, from relationship into marriage. And when it now gets into marriage, their unborn children, when they give birth to them, they will begin to share from the mistake, the errors of their father or from their parents.
Okay.
Now, this can actually be stopped if we can go back to the foundations, our value system. What do we value more? Is it education? Is it skills? As a youngster, what do you value more? You have your moral life also to also take care of. So you should have moral values that even though somebody is giving me money in exchange for anything, the person should respect my personality.
Thank you, Pastor. It has been quite educating and informative. Please talk to our viewers out there.
Okay. it's very important for us to understand that in life, we must instill the right values, in as much as we have several fields of endeavor. As you grow up, the values that you instill is what speaks for you in the future. If you don't have the right value systems, over time, you will have yourself to blame, because it will only show that you have never, I'll say it again, that you have never done what is right. You have left everything to chance. And chance that we know are only for those that are prepared. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate.
Thank
Okay, I think I'll have to go to pastor for some, for some counseling. But never find love. But when I do, I'll meet pastor. So it has been a wonderful moment on Loud Whispers, and we promise to bring more of this to you. Stay connected and stay informed with PCTV. Bye.